We've always loved horror. It's just that horror hasn't always loved us.
Black people play a particular role in horror films.
We went from maids to pimps and hoes.
If there was somebody black, they would be the first to die.
Black films hold a mirror up to society, but at the same time give an audience an escape.
My name
It's Black.
We've shifted from being the focal point of the fear to being the heroes.
This would be unheard of 25 years ago.
If we can use what we've experienced, we can tell stories that people have never seen before.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of our live streaming series, Like It Ain't. We are so glad to have you this evening. You know, tonight we are doing a Halloween special since this is our last episode of the month, where our topic is Black people in horror. That's a really interesting subject. But before we go there, let me just make this quick introduction and say that we do have a special guest with us this evening. That's to that side I'm pointing to. Rashida, she's joining us this evening. Rashida, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Glad to have you. Word.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
Brava, brava. You know, or however the Swahili translation goes for brava. Anyway, and of course, I have, you know, my brother from another, Vic Virtuous. How are you doing, brother?
Good evening, everybody. I'm blessed. Happy to be here. Missed you guys, the last week or two? Or the last couple episodes, I think it was.
Last episode. It was just one.
Last episode. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's good to be back. Great to be back. And I love the topic for tonight.
Me too, brother. And of course, last but not certainly least, we have our legal team. Okay.
No, I'm just Nicole today.
The conscience of the show. Nicole, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Good. Happy to have you here.
And this is great because I have a Halloween baby.
That's right.
Imani, aka Imogen.
That's right. I forgot she was born on Halloween.
It's dope.
Yep. We had I have memories of being in labor and and then I was at a birthing center in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and then we went over to the hospital and at St. Vincent's Hospital in Manhattan. And then my dad, we used to tell her stories about, all the ghouls and goblins were in the street because you were born.
Awesome old Vincent Price and the Thriller type vibe.
Right. I love that.
When you could have encountered anything in the village,
especially back then.
So right.
God. The New York Halloween parties. Oh God, I forgot about those. I mean the parade. Yeah. Oh my God. Woo. Oof. And before we get started, I want everybody to see my shirt. Hold on. Okay, that right there. Can we get the shot
here?
There
we go.
Okay. Zombies hate fast food, and they do. You know, I'm just saying. The faster you are, the less they're gonna eat. So just understand that in case you end up in a zombie apocalypse.
Well, that's kind of the older zombies, right? Like the new Walking Dead and a lot of these new zombies are a lot faster, right?
Well, the Walking Dead, to me, they still are kind of,
sluggish and
I don't know. What do you think, Rashida? Like, Dawn of the Dead was the ones that were fast.
Yeah.
I think, that was the one with Vin Rames. They were quick.
Yes.
But otherwise, please.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was an interesting evening. Imani's birth. Yeah. On Halloween, I'm just saying. I'm gonna just leave that there. makes sense that she was born on Halloween because she's like a star, you know, it's a whole thing with her in a good way, you know, creatively. And Halloween is this whole thing. So it all makes sense. All right. So, you know, we're going to get to this first clip. We have this documentary that's called Black Noire, The History of Black Horror. So we're going to play some clips and then we're going to respond and discuss the clips and we'll just kind of go from there. We'll go to this first
History is Black horror.
Hold on. It
Black
seems like
history is Black horror.
Before we think about horror as we know it today, we can go back to films that perhaps wouldn't be on our radar as horror. There's a character, Gus. Gus is a...
This seems to be going slow right now. Is that what's happening?
I think a zombie must have died.
Oh, Nicole.
Before we think about horror as we know it today, we can go back to films that perhaps wouldn't be on our radar as horror. There's a character, Gus. Gus is a white actor in blackface who is depicted as being in pursuit of a young white
this
girl.
Is odd. How is the video? I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes this technology is crazy. Because I'm like, how is the audio playing fine, but the video is playing crazy? Hold on 1 second.
I think it's a bit of ghoulishness, man.
Yeah, Nicole might be right. It could possibly be a zombie. Let me see right here. 1 sec. Let me go back to the first.
That was my horror.
Don't do that.
My horror music.
History is Black horror.
I mean, it's ultra slow. Okay. All right. That knocks that out the box. Hold on. We could still hear the audio.
Before we think about horror as we know it today, we can go back to films that perhaps wouldn't be on our radar as horror.
We'll just go by the audio for now.
There's a character, Gus. Gus is a white actor in blackface who is depicted as being in pursuit of a young white girl. Gus is essentially lynched by the Klan.
The Birth of a Nation was a horror film, especially if you were a Black person.
Those people at that point were getting to know what African Americans were like through that film because they lived in communities where they had no African Americans. This was the only source of information, and a lot of people got the wrong impression of who we are, certainly.
It's one of the...
So right here, what they were actually talking about is the film Birth of a Nation. I saw Kava in the comments said, it's the white man trying to stop you, bro. Reason why it's lagging. It's very possible. It's very possible. Anyway, so what they were speaking about was one of the first films ever made called Birth of a Nation, where they pretty much had a white man in blackface and they had him running around raping and pillaging and doing all types of animalistic and crazy things to the women. And the Klan came in and they were the heroes of the movie because they stopped this white dude in blackface. And white people, they never lived around Black people before. So this was part of the beginning of this stereotype that we still live with today. I mean, what do they consider us? Hostile?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I think that was the part when I was viewing this this trailer that I just totally lost my thought. But anyway, And we're live. But yeah, I mean, I think the person in blackface, didn't they get arrested and then killed because they thought he was Black, or that was at least in the movie, right?
Yes,
the way it was portrayed in the movie. But yeah, I mean, I think, it's unfortunate that, this was, I remember back in the day, there was a movement of the stereotypes that were being portrayed in commercials or on films, and because that's, you have a wide audience, and then you're getting people conditioned to think that Black people are lazy, Black people are to be feared, and they can't be trusted, and and so it perpetuates that myth, and unfortunately we still deal with that today, because you still have people who look at the color of our skin and then automatically form an opinion about who you are and what you are.
Yeah. And this is an opinion that it's been recycling itself since this birth of a nation. So these white folks see this, they think this is us, and they pass that on to each generation or each person they know, that this is what Black is. And it's not like what Black is got better in Hollywood until what now?
Somewhat.
I was about, exactly.
Yes, right. That's my point. And why do you say somewhat, Rashida?
We're kind of not even kind of. We're typecasted a lot. So
yeah,
there's always the same one-liners or the same Black humor, or what people see Black people as kind of humor. So
agree.
Hey,
and Vic, why do you agree? What do you think, Vic? Like, do you feel like Hollywood do you feel like Black people are being represented well in Hollywood right now?
Not to the fullest extent. Like Rashida said, it's kind of half and half, or in moderation, It's not even just in Hollywood, it's all throughout, like society. Yeah, everything, just about, Yes, in some ways it's gotten better, but like we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, very long way. Oh, I see Coop's Roots Production said, well, we haven't really been treated kindly in horror ever. Steve said a lot of Black people in the industry don't know what Black is. That's interesting.
I mean, I think we touched on Get Out earlier. I think that's a great representation.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that now. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so let me see if I can, at least we can just hear the audio for this next one. Because that first one was kind of an introduction to the topic. This next one actually speaks a little bit about Night of the Living Dead.
Those
in the making of that.
Movies, there are no Black people, but the other is this monster thing that I think is supposed to represent all people that are not white.
The creature from the Black Lagoon looks so much like those advertisements from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. The bulging lips looks just like those awful ads for nigger head shrimp. There was
Did you hear that? N-word head shrimp. What the hell is that? What is that? Okay, all right.
Something that horror was saying to me about Blackness. I knew that King Kong was a metaphor for Blackness. But then there's this moment.
Night of the Living Dead.
There's a zombie apocalypse, and we have a small group of folks who all sort of converge on a cabin house to survive.
It has a Black protagonist in Dwayne Jones.
You can be the boss down there.
Dude.
I'm boss up here.
He's in charge.
If you stay up here, you take orders from me.
You can never quite tell if the white woman who Dwayne Jones is essentially saving is more creeped out by the fact that there's zombies outside or the fact that there's a Black man in the house.
That was the first time I probably saw somebody Black in a movie, and they weren't a criminal, and they weren't a gangster, and they were the hero.
At that time, there was not a Black character who was really a man who was, and again, who took charge of his fate, who wasn't waiting for the white man to save him.
He's slapping white people upside the head. He's killing white zombie after white zombie after white zombie. This had to be horrifying to racists.
We had assassination after assassination. We had riot after riot.
Civil rights movement and all those movements were combining together, and we were producing those men that were standing up and saying, not here, not again, not me. And at the same time, he comes out and he does this film.
Years later, I got to know George Romero. I asked him, I said, why Dwayne? And he said the role wasn't even written, it wasn't written black. Dwayne just happened to be the best actor to show up on that day.
Wow, that was important because that was my guy. That was actually the first time that I saw a leading black role being portrayed as intelligent as he was and took lead of the group of people that were in that house and made it all the way to the end just to get shot in the head. You know, like it was very interesting to say the least. Yeah, you know, I know there's some technical issues going on right now, but I wish those clips would have played because I would have loved to see that. Like that was my guy. That was my guy.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not like a real big movie buff or anything, and so but the clip actually was very, very good. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it's not really playing, but you know, I what resonated with me though was when the narrator said, or I guess it was the director, and was saying it wasn't written for a black man. It was, you know, he just happened to be the person that showed up and was the best actor. Yeah, and it's you know, hopefully we can get to a point where our entertainment industry is just that, where it's not that's necessarily written for a particular race, but that, you know, it's written for the best actor to play that role.
Right.
And honestly, I'm surprised he still even got it, despite the fact that he was the best.
Right.
You know?
Why are you surprised?
Because that was unusual exactly to see at that time, that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he was an alien when it was alienish when I was young and I saw that. I was just like, wow, this is very uncommon to see.
Yeah.
And the scenes with the violence against his people, you know.
You just muted yourself.
But she sounded like she was saying something real
profound. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Please repeat what you said.
Just the violence when he slapped the woman around. I'm like, oh, I wonder what the reason for that was at the time. Couldn't have been good.
Right.
So,
very good point.
Yes. Been written for a black man.
He did slap that white chick around real quick.
Yes. Barbara.
And was bossing the white guys around and everything, you know. And when he got killed in the movie in the end, it wasn't because he was black. Again, it wasn't written for a black man. So he was just mistaken for another zombie or another undead, pretty much, once the cavalry arrived, which looked really creepy because it was a bunch of hick white dudes with their shotguns. Did you get them? Oh, yeah. You know, so it was, yeah. Let me finish this
question though. Oh, okay. Well, I have a question because I never thought of King Kong as a portrayal of a black person. Did any of you ever get that?
Yes, that and Planet of the Apes.
I didn't know. Yes, I definitely did.
I never, you know, made that connection.
Yeah, you did, Vic. I know.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw
with holding the white woman in his hand and everything. Yeah, and the whole cavalry after him. Definitely.
Well, now it, you know, it kind of, you know, it
makes sense.
Connection now. It makes sense. You know, but watching it growing up, I just never drew that connection.
Yeah, and they called us.
Good for you. I wish we all looked through those eyes as you did, but unfortunately not.
When she was little.
Right. Yeah.
As she grew up, she was like, "Oh."
But you know, that's where it starts, though, because as a child, you're groomed and raised and taught. You know, it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
There's plenty of Nicoles out there. Most of us who don't look at things that way, but unfortunately, we're taught to look at things that way. So
yes, we are. Yes, we are. That's the society we were raised in.
And there's so many things. Like I was just asked the other day, like why is it called referred to as blackmail? You know what I mean? Like where did that come from?
Okay, so you're going. Like, that's a whole rabbit hole because blackmail, blackballed. There's a lot. Matter of fact, let's end up making that a topic for like. I love that. I love that. Steve said maybe the first Kong movie, they definitely had some racism in that one, without question. Now, let me finish this because the rest of this clip, there's a couple of seconds left, but it's interesting what's being said here.
Romero tells the story of putting the film.
The role wasn't even written, it wasn't written black. Dwayne just happened to be the best actor to show up on that day.
George Romero tells the story of putting the film cans in the trunk of his car, driving to New York City, and they hear it. They hear it on the radio.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed by an assassin's bullet tonight in Memphis, Tennessee.
Night of the Living Dead becomes what it is exactly because of what's happening in this country while he's filming it.
I think the tenseness of the time and the turbulence that was going on in society and the political drama all fed into people all of a sudden having a need to want to see themselves on screen.
Interesting.
You know, I can't imagine myself being around at that time when Martin Luther King passed. Like we responded and reacted to George Floyd, but I really just can't imagine. Like I just saw this on the Wonder Years, not last week, but the week prior, or the first episode where they touched on that very topic of him passing, and it just seemed like it was such a pivotal point within our community that just imploded.
Oh yeah, great
You know
show.
what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Great show.
Absolutely.
Oh, but yes, yeah. So because of the events, like with Martin Luther King and with just the climate of society at the time, this movie directly benefited from it, you know, and it started making more people realize, hey, I want to see my own people on screen as well, you know. So, and it never stopped because here we are now still looking for representation.
So I wonder if, you know, just events help drive innovation, or help not innovation more, help drive opportunity, because we now have George Floyd. You know, back then you had Martin Luther King, and you know, maybe, you know, just coincidence that he happened to be, you know, he had the films already done, ready to take them to New York, and so you know, maybe that was coincidence. But I'm just wondering, do you think that these events trigger an opportunity? So like George Floyd, and now it creates more opportunities for more Black actors, more Black casting directors, more investors, people, you know, just taking the Black people in that entertainment industry more seriously and giving them more opportunities.
It creates more opportunities somewhere, but I don't know about in film. What creates more opportunities in Hollywood for film are the Black films succeeding. When they succeed, then they're like, oh, money. And they will always follow the money. You know, because they don't think that we can make international dollar either from our movies. They think it's just, you know, within the States, it's nationwide. So,
which is interesting because Black people tend to fare better internationally.
Right. And not that, Black people influence trends, styles, fashion, and culture worldwide.
Absolutely.
Anywhere where there's hip hop, Black people have touched that region, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying. So anyway, but first, before we go any further, I want to big up everyone in the chats, everyone that's tuned in, and we just thank you, you know, because this is like a fun but important topic at the same time. 3D3 said, I'm sure it does, but why does someone have to die?
Exactly. Well, didn't somebody say, I don't know who said that earlier, at least they don't die in the beginning anymore.
Ooh, we're gonna get to that too. Ooh, we're gonna get to that too. Okay, next video. Okay, now, okay. Blackish.
It's Blackula!
Starring William Marshall, a black actor, directed by William Crane, a black director. And so here's where you see how knowledgeable black directors and actors can have an extraordinary impact on a film.
They wanted to do Count Browns in Town.
Browns in Town.
Yeah,
Really
it was
Browns
really
in Town.
I'm gonna stop right there.
Oh man. Did they say Count Brownsington?
No, Count Browns in Town.
Oh man.
Like there's a brown person in our neighborhood. Get him out. Rashida, Browns in Town. Have you ever heard that? Well, she saw the documentary. Yeah, that's crazy. You're muted.
Yeah. I'm up. Yeah, I saw the documentary. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy that there's a person that the people existed. Yo, you know how
One the townspeople. Count Browns in Town.
Like that's a whole other movie, if anything, where the black man is running from a bunch of tiki toys. Holding dudes that's just chasing them. Get out of here, Browns in Town. Like, is that his name or are you making a statement? It's both. Listen, Browns in Town.
It's both.
Yo.
Like, really? You know how crazy? That's crazy that he even man to man thought to pitch that title to this director. Browns in Town. You know we getting hot right now because everything is starting to freeze and go slow. This ain't never happened on Like It Ain't. All of our shit is stuff is freezing. I'm just saying. Browns in Town. Okay, we're gonna keep moving.
Wow.
Now I kind of wish they went with that one.
I'm glad they did. Because we could say Blackula like it's nothing, but who was gonna say Browns in Town? Rashida, did you see Browns in Town? No,
No.
No, I know Browns in Town.
It could be a black horror comedy.
But you know, they still had names like Buckwheat and Stymie, and Farina. So I mean, like that's not too far off the mark from Browns in Town.
You're right. And now see, there's advancement because in this day and time, they would not have been able to say that to somebody. Hey, do you want to name this Blackula movie Browns in Town? Count Browns in Town. I'm like, we can end the show right here on that. Browns in Town. I can't. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna hit play. Hopefully it'll play.
So we decided we were going to do something else. I wasn't the favorite person there for them because we had something else in mind.
The movie opens with him with his queen trying to argue with Count Dracula to end the transatlantic slave trade.
To totally cease the slave trade?
When is the last time Black audiences had seen themselves expressed visually in the 1700s as erudite and intelligent and holding court and trying to discuss world affairs?
Slavery has merit, I believe.
Merit? You find merit in barbarity?
When I was a kid,
he said slavery has its merit. He's like, merit? You find merit in barbarity? I never even heard that word before, barbarity. Merit? You find merit in barbarity? I'm using that. That's going to be a post one of these days. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay, now play. Yo, the man is
what's going on over there at headquarters.
The man is really trying to shut us down tonight.
I'm telling you, there's some ghouls and goblins.
Okay, so he's this yummy, chocolate, dark, sexy man. And so it was this really confusing thing as a child because I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared, but I'm excited. But I'm scared, but I'm interested. I think I want to kiss him. And I hadn't really experienced that with a villain before. So I would say Blackula scared the fuck out of me.
I was proud that a black man was kicking some butt.
people.
Kicking butt, yeah.
Hi, what do you have?
Make it a Bloody Mary.
He was having a Bloody Mary.
I found a lot of tangible resistance, and maybe even
the director speaking.
Resentment.
Racism?
Yeah. Well, for racism, I mean, nobody.
Because I'm sure your crew was predominantly white.
Oh, everybody was white.
Right.
I can't right now. I can't remember anyone else black that was on that set.
There was something of a resentment on the part of many producers who didn't want our voices to ring resonantly about and create a new kind of genre.
Remember the nightclub scene?
He looked cool as the
nightclub scene.
Right.
And so there was a mix of white and black. And
Right,
it was
beautiful.
It really worked. And once the music was supposed to start, kids were supposed to be dancing, and to watch the AD, the assistant director, he had the black couples and he had white couples. So
He didn't mix it up.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I mean, he didn't have gloves to throw down, but I said, hold it, we're not going to do this. This is what you're going to do. You're going to mix these people up.
And then to come back with Scream Black in the Screen.
I'm a Pam Grier fan. She ends up becoming the lead of the film, which to me is fun because, in my opinion, it's one of the only times they let her act. Like, she really got to be a real person and not a sex symbol.
Stay away. Who are you?
This is when you start to see women really emerge. Women are now starting to take the center stage.
How about that?
And that was the beginning of this. That was the beginning of really the black horror. And like she said, black women having these more prominent roles in these black movies. You know, Blackula scared me as a kid. I didn't see it as a kid, but I just saw Blackula. He scared the living daylights out of me. And them sideburns. Yeah, the mutton chops.
The sideburns. Yeah.
He was killing them sideburns. If he wasn't going to bite you, he might slice you with them sideburns. It was so sharp. But you know,
black men back in the day loved their sideburns. So
didn't they? Because it just went so well with the fro, and it would just flow down. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Jim Kelly. Oh man, there's so many of them.
You already know, brother. I'm just saying. So you know, and this is what. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Nicole?
No, I was just gonna mess with Vic. You know, he kind of had his little reaction to Pam Grier.
You caught that,
right? I was gonna leave that alone.
I thought I was a little subtle with that. I'm sorry. I kind of put that out there.
No. You're never that subtle with your crushes. That's what I've known. When Vic has a crush, everyone watching realizes it. I'm just saying. It's all good.
She definitely aged well. I'm sorry.
Do we need a towel for him?
I know.
Wrong show, right?
Do you need a moment to finish?
No, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good.
Because see, Nicole said something to pick at you, and you just ha. then you want to further and make a comment. Oh, and she aged well, by the way. Nobody
you're right.
How she aged. But Vic volunteered the info. I will agree with you though. She did age well.
Indeed.
Up through, well, I don't know, because I saw her in something. I feel like a couple of
recently.
Years. Yeah, let me think about this. Nah, Pam is Pam. I ain't gonna. Rashida looking at me like, what you want to say about Pam? Nothing. I will never downplay any sister publicly. We keep that private. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this next clip that we will try to get to, boy, this goes into the next. Oh boy. So that was Blackula. All right. We go from Blackula to this right here.
And I'm sorry, what was the creature of the Black Lagoon all about? That right. Kind of like to me was just like more obvious.
Was that a Black
the King Kongs and
Wait, that was a movie? Because I know the Blue Lagoon was a movie, but they had the Black Lagoon too?
They had the Black Lagoon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember the title. I don't really remember the what happened in the movie, but I do remember the creature from the Black Lagoon. My mom's cousin used to love like sci-fi and horror films, so she always had us watch it.
Huh?
Those,
yeah, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember the title.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Congrats, Nicole.
But what? Yes, one for me.
Nicole knows the title to a movie.
All right.
Gold star for you, but I feel you.
So what was it about?
Right.
I don't know. I just remember seeing this black thing coming out of the swamp.
Yeah.
But I don't really, yeah.
See, that's that BS. You already know.
You see, I remember people when they used to cut up and do the dozens and all this in class or whatever. They would, the creature from the Black Lagoon, or your dad looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon. They would always refer to the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right.
Yo,
wow, you just took it back. You're right.
Yeah, man.
Now I gotta go and Google what does the.
I might have called somebody's daddy that before and didn't even know. Damn, that's what that was. Okay. All right. Next clip. Let's let this slowly go through.
Called the 90s.
I actually am not afraid to say Candyman.
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 I'm a really hard person to scare. And Candyman was like one of the first things in a while that got me.
It really got to you?
Yeah, I mean, that shot with the open mouth inside the vacated apartment.
I guess we kind of knew that we had something, but we didn't know what. We had Tony Richmond was our DP who did The Man Who Fell to Earth. We had Philip Glass, whose incredible score kicked off the film. We had the beautiful city of Chicago as our backdrop. And we had an interracial conflict.
Tony Todd is such a powerful actor and brings such gravitas to that role.
Damn.
Candyman is Tony Todd, and Tony Todd is Candyman for a lot of us.
Out of the blue, I get a call from my manager at the time saying there's a script on their table. It's called Candyman.
Let me see if this will work now.
His voice is so dope, man.
I actually am not afraid.
That wasn't his race, and he was lynched because of it. And not only that, they cut off his art hand.
Bernard Rose directed Candyman based on a short story set in the UK by Clive Barker. They changed the original story from sort of a class conversation to one that is rooted in American racial history.
It dealt with these social things. You have this white woman, you got this black guy, you got this backstory about this black guy and this white woman, and kind of, how he is attacked because of this relationship.
It was a very terrifying film. A film that I love, but a film that, is kind of problematic.
We shall die together in front of their very eyes.
Here again, we have a movie that echoes what happened in King Kong in the 30s. There's this black boogeyman, and he's in pursuit of this blonde white woman.
He becomes obsessed, recirculating the same tropes.
I don't think that character would go after poor black people.
Right.
This is where you can tell that Candyman came from the mind of a white person.
He chooses to haunt, to disrupt the lives of blacks in Chicago in the Cabrini Green projects, when really right across the tracks are essentially the representatives, the folks who would have been responsible, their ancestors for his lynching.
He is a personification of racism in the United States, like what it looks like and what it can conjure, like all that negative energy. Like, what does it look like and what does it do? Keep away from me!
For me, as a character, I don't live and breathe and die by it. I'm happy that I was able to do him, and hopefully I did him right.
It was very empowering to me to feel like black people can do anything. We're not in this box. We can be the Freddy of a movie.
I remember Vondy Curtis Hall, who was married to Casey Lemons, who was in the film. At the original screening, he shook his head, he says, man, you realize, I said, what? You're going to be Candyman forever.
And he was. He is Candyman forever.
But not only Candyman, he killed the remake of Night of the Living Dead. And I believe he had a cameo in the Final Destination movies. He did his thing in that too.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything he touched, he killed. He
Final Destination. Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Mikkel and I saw all of those. I ain't gonna lie. Rashida, you shaking your head. What?
Yeah. I was done after one.
Why?
You didn't like one?
I liked one, but everybody has that log truck experience or yeah, but
not me.
I mean, I think I may have seen part of the second one, but
that was
I like the first and second one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved them. We watched them. I mean, they're cliche because you know what's happening. None of the movies are brand new. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same story. Death is the monster. You know? But it was cool how they did it. I liked those movies, me personally, and he was creepy, you know. So great point, yeah. But Candyman, Nicole, you didn't see Candyman?
I remember the name, but I don't remember what happened in Candyman. And I actually, is that the one with the bugs are coming out of his mouth?
The bees, yes.
That we just saw in the clip. Yeah, I mean, just now I was like turning my head because, you know, I didn't want to see that. And then we dreaming about it later or something, you know.
Yeah, those were bees.
But I remember, was it bees? Okay, so I remember, Candyman being a very horrific film that I didn't want to see. So I can't remember if I saw it or not. I may have and just don't remember, but I do know that name. So if you said Candyman, I would know. Like, yeah, it's a horror film.
Yeah, that was a scary one. That was, at least for me. And I saw it in the theaters. Teenager. Was I a teen? I think we were still in high school when Candyman came out, right, Vic?
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
we were still in high school.
Early, just either just touching the teens or like mid-teens.
Yeah, I feel. Yeah, that was scary. That was
very gruesome. So you made the right choice because for the faint-hearted, it definitely wasn't for you.
No,
a lot of blood, a lot of descriptive depictions and details.
Yeah.
That was so. What was he about to do? Was he about to slice off her leg in that last thing you just showed?
Was he gonna slice off her leg? I don't recall.
You sure you want the details? Because
was her hand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She ain't gonna watch it.
No, I saw like the clip you just had, and they were showing the leg, and then it was like it looked like it was a hook or something.
Yeah, it was the hook to his arm, to his hand.
Oh, okay. So was he? Well, I don't want to know.
You see that exactly my
point. Okay, we know what Nicole's dreams will be like tonight. Don't call us tomorrow, blaming us.
I was so disappointed. They only gave him like 2 minutes in that new one.
Didn't I tell you? See,
yeah, man. Gave him like a minute or two at the end. I'm like, come on, man.
Right. To me, if you're gonna do that, don't put him in the movie. Don't put him in the movie. If you're gonna put him in the last 30 seconds. Get out of here with that. Anyway, I was so not pleased with that. Yeah, but that was a classic though. Candyman was definitely a classic horror movie that I think is timeless. Like if you go back and watch that now, it still holds weight. Except for that one point they brought up. And what do y'all think about this? The ones that saw it. It was weird that Candyman was going after people in the projects when it was like the white folk who cut off your arm, quote unquote, descendants of or whatever, people who look like them is, right across town where everything is nice.
I kind of liken it to why we kill in our own neighborhoods. That's the kind of connection that I drew to it.
Okay, I can guarantee that the director's connection because he's white.
Yeah, probably not. No.
That's the same thing.
That's what I saw.
But that's awesome.
That's the same thing I thought of immediately when you asked the question. You know, I mean, I was thinking about you know, the crime that happens where instead of going after the people with money and then they can recover quickly, you know, for like, you know, these people who want to, you know, commit crimes against others.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you going after the little old lady sitting at the bus stop and she's, you know, counting change just to get on the bus, you know, probably living off of a fixed income, you know, that lives in low income housing or something.
And she make the best chicken in the neighborhood.
Right. And so that last little dollar that you just stole from her, you know what? Wait, the last little dollar that they stole from her, you know, I mean, that probably had to last her throughout the rest of the month.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Versus like
here
going
you
after
are.
somebody who, you know, hey, I'm not saying these people should go after them, but I'm just saying that, you know,
Sounds like it.
why are you in here when we're all in this together? We're all living low income.
Right.
You know?
We're all Candyman.
Me.
We all Candyman. We even got a hook for a hand. Come on, brother. Come on. Holla if you hear me. Jesus. But yeah, you know, but see, that's even though this movie was a great representation for Black people when it came to horror early on, that what we're just talking about shows what happens when you have a white director doing a Black movie. You have these inconsistencies.
This is why I would respect like a Esther Roll or okay, I'm sorry, my fault.
Well, no, I was just wondering because I remember asking earlier. What was it? It was not Night of the Living Dead. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Was that a Black director as well?
I doubt it. No, it wasn't. Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you now. No, it wasn't. It was somebody very pale for sure.
I'm sorry.
This is crazy. It's all kinds of little.
It's that time of year, y'all.
Yep. That's the other horror.
When's the last time we saw or heard some stuff like this on Like It Ain't? Come on now.
I know.
Right.
Very spooky.
I know. So let me ask y'all, just besides Black horror, and I guess it's mainly the three of y'all more than Nicole, but what horror movie, name a horror movie that just scared the living daylights out of you, whether it was from when you were younger or, you know, more recent. And even in the chats, and Nicole, you may think of one too. Name a movie that scared the living daylights out of you. Vic, do you have one?
Anything from the 70s, the early to mid 70s, Exorcist, Omen, Amityville, any of those. Any of those.
The Exorcist was tough.
The Shining. I mean, like, come on. Today, to this day, The Shining still gets in my head.
Right.
It's the psychological ones that really move me.
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn. Beautiful. Yep. Exactly.
Nicole, you saw The Shining?
Yes. Red Rum.
Yeah.
I used to. Oh my gosh, I hate that movie. But I saw it. The Shining. I told you, but we spent a lot of time with my mother's family in Chester, Pennsylvania. Shout out to the Thurgood family, but so my mother's cousin Lily, she used to love horror movies. So we watched The Shining and what's it, Michael Myers. Is that which one is Michael Myers? Is that Halloween?
Halloween,
The Exorcist.
Ooh, it is out today.
Yes.
Your God.
Halloween Kills.
There's a new Halloween movie that came out today. Sorry, I had to get close to the mic on that.
See that stuff? But you know what? Okay, what cracks me up though, and who's the one? It was Jason. Which movie
Friday
is that?
the 13th.
That's the one with the mask, right?
Friday the 13th.
So there's like a Geico commercial though. I think it's Geico. I don't know, but this is way off. This is going in the other direction, but it just cracks me up about because he's standing there and the kids are they're kind of playing off of the irony or I don't know.
You got to explain this
just,
commercial faster.
Okay, so the kid they're playing off of just how dumb people are in horror films, and they're like, there's these kids in the garage, and they're like the guy's coming after them, and then they're running into the most obvious place where they're gonna get trapped. So they're like, how about we go to the running car? And they're like, are you crazy? Let's go into the garage where he's standing there, like, and then the guy that's trying to kill him, he's over here rolling his eyes because he's like, oh my gosh, how dumb are they?
Yeah, see, this is a commercial we have to show them because it's not as funny telling it back.
Right, you have to see it because
I saw it.
You're right. I probably did not do it justice, but it was,
no. It's not you. It's not you. It's just you got to see it. Like cause she's right. I saw that commercial and it's
hide behind the chainsaws.
Right, it's a room full of chainsaws and stuff, and they just run into no.
And they have a running car that's sitting outside,
right?
And they're like, no, let's not go to the running car. Let's go to the chainsaws,
right? To the old wooden shed full of chainsaws and stuff.
But it's usually like people in films and they go into this locked door, or instead of running outside, they run upstairs to the bedrooms.
Yeah. Those are those
where you're gonna get trapped.
The
door to get out is that way.
Come on now. Like really? Now see, for me, I don't know. There's so many horror movies I love.
Same here.
Like I just love the genre, but I don't love I don't love gory horror. Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't into Faces of Death or anything that was just about
that was wild, man.
That was too much.
That was
I actually never sat and watched that because I was like, nah, I'm good. So you tell me that they filmed actual people doing stunts that purposely kill themselves. No,
monkeys, animals, every and every.
I don't even want to know. I still don't want to know. I'm good. But anyway, but what I love about horror is usually a good horror movie. It puts you in that person's shoes for the moment, so you get scared shitless because you're just sitting there like, thinking that you're in that position. Right. And it's also great for dates. Oh my God. My wife and I, our first date, we watched Insidious together. The first Insidious.
Okay. Great choice.
Did she do the, were you expecting her to like jump in your arms?
Oh yeah.
I'm so scared. And then jump. Did she do that?
I got you. We good. Are you sure? Yeah, we good. We good.
Brother Lynn.
Michael Jackson Thriller.
The same thing. Exactly the same thing.
Right. Why do y'all always get caught by someone who is walking? Because Jason, all of them, they just be they walk, but they catch everyone they're going after for the most part. Yo, remember who saw Jason versus Freddy?
I saw it. I wasn't too big of a fan of it, but I saw it.
Me either, but do you remember when Kelly Rowland got murked in that movie?
Yes.
And she got smashed against the tree?
Got saucy, was popping off at the lip too much. And she caught it.
Boy.
She caught a bad one.
Oh boy. Oh my, Victor.
Right.
I won't make a video clip out of that. That'll get this real quick. People are like, damn, that's brutal.
That scene actually had me rolling. It was hilarious.
As a man, you also know, and maybe women too, but you know the feeling of, okay, when you were picking a movie to go to with that date, and if there was that horror movie out, you was like, oh, we're going to go see that. Are you sure? Yep, we're going to go see that. Mm-hmm. The one with all the blood? Mm-hmm, all the blood.
How do you feel about that, Nicole? I see you smirking and smiling over there. Would you agree?
Nicole jumped in a few arms before, I'm sure.
I don't think I have. I never really liked horror films.
Okay.
So they scared me. I didn't want, and I didn't want to think about it later. Like I don't like, and I especially don't like the ones that have ghosts and stuff, and people
like possessions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So that really, that always makes me scared.
So Nicole wouldn't have been a good date.
Done any dates with we went on a.
They knew better.
Call anybody.
Yeah, they was like, nah, I ain't taking her. Nah, she ain't the one for that. I'm gonna go take her to see Malcolm X or something else or something. Now, it would be really dope if both of those
I want to understand your mind, brother.
And he's just sitting there like,
do what you want about.
I wonder if Teresa's home.
Now,
But
if
no.
Play asked me to go,
I knew it. I knew it was somewhere
to
about
the, to the horror film, then I probably would just go ahead and say yes.
Rashida.
I was about to ask Rashida.
Nicole has a crush on Play from Kid and Play. For those that don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But she's talking about Play.
Okay. Yep. I kind of figured. Yeah.
Just so you know, I did DM Play for your birthday, but I didn't hear back from him.
Oh, look at that.
Married though, right?
I tried. I was sending pictures of you. I was like, look, here she is. I was setting it up. He might respond someday.
Look, that would have been that would have been nice though, but that probably would have been my Brian McKnight moment.
Oh God,
Brian McKnight too.
I was on the elevator. I've been waiting to see Brian McKnight on the elevator with him, and I'm just like, yeah.
So let me just say real quick that I saw in the comments, Coop's Roots said Peacock Premium has Halloween Kills. If anybody has it. So if anybody has that Peacock Premium,
got it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. Is this illegal? What we're saying right now?
I'm just saying, if you ain't got the subscription that you're paying for,
okay, because you're on legal. You're on legal team. So if I should stop, okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, so yeah, everyone go purchase Peacock Premium.
If you pay for expensive Comcast, can I say Comcast? If you pay for Comcast, you got it for free.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
It's not really free, but
right. Okay. I'm not winking. I have salt in my eye.
A little dust in your eye.
Yeah. Lynn said, but the trick was a dude. You couldn't be sitting there scared to death yourself. No doubt.
Right.
Ooh, that's a great
point.
Yo, I played it off a few times because there was a few times I was scared. I was shook, Vic. I was shook.
In which movie?
Or
movies? Okay.
Insidious, matter of fact, with Mikkel. When I was
the
watching
first one was definitely off the hook. Yeah, I would agree.
There was a couple of moments where I was ready to lose my cool, but I was like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I like this chick. Hold on, I can't lose my cool yet. Get a few months in.
But let me ask the ladies: Would y'all have dug your date more if he was vulnerable and showed his like sensitive side, or like the side that he could just be himself and be scared or whatever? Or do you wanted the cool type, mellow, like everything was on the low?
If it was his idea to go,
right.
I'm kind of nasty on that one. I don't know because you knew. So why would you?
Right.
If you can't take it. But I think there's something I think attractive about if you're comfortable with yourself enough to say, wow, I'm usually not that scared, but this really scared me. And
you just got to do it in a cool way, like that. That's cool.
You gotta do it in a cool
That's cool. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You just can't be like,
wait till you get the ring, right? Then you can be vulnerable, like, oh my gosh.
Right. I was trying not to let Mikkel see me cry until after the wedding. Didn't work that way. But it's okay. But yeah, nah. I was definitely trying to play it cool. Well, not play it cool, but in those moments where I would have been more scared by myself, I was playing it cool with her. And Mikkel is infamous for jumping at jump scares. I love it. She is great for watching horror movies. You know when the horror movies always have that jump scare?
Hey.
It gets her all the time.
Then y'all need to watch Exorcist 3. Arguably, not even arguably, the greatest jump scare of all time.
Exorcist 3.
Exorcist 3.
Hold on. Like it ain't. I mean, this is Mikkel talking. She says, "I don't know how I would have felt if John had jumped in my arms." You would have felt hurt because you wouldn't have been able to take that weight in your arms.
Like Scooby and Shaggy, huh?
Right. She might have stopped the movie. Like, I don't think we should watch any more of this. Because I was liking you before that. Yeah, nah.
Right.
That's
You're
nah.
like, so when we going out again? Yeah,
Right.
about that.
About that. You see these things men have to face just to try to meet a woman. I'm just saying, we don't get no credit for none of this ever.
I kind of see Rashida's point though. I kind of see Rashida's point. Like if you flip, for the movie, the choice of the movie, and you in there like all, in a fetal position, like I mean, come on.
Yeah, you played yourself. Nah, you played yourself. Okay, so let me ask y'all this question real quick before we go. This reminds me of a situation. So one time I was at the movies watching a movie. It wasn't a horror movie. I was on a date, and the woman didn't know something about some of the Marvel characters we were watching. So she was leaned over, whispered a couple of things, asked some questions. This dude that was in the row ahead of us, white dude, who was brolic. I mean, his muscles had muscle. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was like, yo, y'all need to shut the F up. He didn't say F.
There's all types of things going on tonight, man.
And I was like, hold on. So obviously, hold on.
I'm sorry to comment.
Hold up with the comment. I gotta finish this story. Hold on.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
So the dude snapped. I snapped back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, we were about to fight. So we stepped out of the theater to fight. It didn't happen because he didn't really want to fight, really. But he went nuts. And my question, I always wondered, because I didn't get to ask her about it necessarily, because I wanted to play it cool still. Because I was ready to fight, but I wasn't. Like, I had to fight because you just snapped at us in front of the girl I'm on a date with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, y'all as women, how would you have responded if the dude just played it cool? Or if the dude didn't, really base back? Because she was the one talking, not me. So he was telling her to shut up. I knew what was going on.
I think at this stage of my life, I don't need somebody who's ready to fight. Now, somebody throw him the first blow. I don't expect you to just stand there either,
Right.
But, I think I would prefer someone who would have the maturity to figure out how to,
there's no
how to handle the situation before it had to escalate to that.
It escalated immediately.
But there's ways of de-escalating somebody like that. Yo, man, you don't need to talk to her that way.
So you wouldn't look
whatever.
At
but I'm saying, let's, if it has to go there, then let's get there. But I think that when you're, if you're at a certain age, I don't need somebody who's going to be a hothead who's ready to fight all the time, because what is, you don't know how to conduct yourself, in a mature way and to handle disputes.
Okay. But
without fighting.
But hold on. Would that have been immature to fight this dude who just snapped at the both of y'all? Well, really at her. And then kept snapping. He kept snapping until we both stood up and it was like, all right, let's go outside.
Well, I think, it's probably appropriate. Let's go outside, because sometimes it's just a man thing that y'all got to do with each other,
Mm-hmm.
And I think it probably would have been appropriate to just, let's step outside, let's handle this outside. I don't think it needed to, go to blows. Now, when I was in my 20s or something like that, probably would have been attracted to somebody who, bad boy that's like, taking up for me. Now, I'm not the thing is, I still want somebody that's gonna take up for me right now. You know, I want somebody who's, you know, not afraid. That's not, you know, afraid to stand up for me as well. But you know, that knows how to be mature about how to handle it. If they have to fight to defend me, then I can understand that. But I'm just saying, I want to. But I would want to see some level of maturity as they handle that situation, and that's, you know, kind of let it progress to that if it has to.
So you wouldn't see him as a punk then, if your date wasn't really trying to have that, if your date didn't want that smoke at all, you wouldn't see him as a punk. This is yes or no.
Who wants the smoke? I mean, you know, I'm not dating somebody. I'm not gonna be dating somebody that's like, you know, ready to, you know, pull out and, you know, like, yo,
of course not.
You know, but
no.
So I would expect them to, you know, stand up to the person, but not be ready to be like escalating it further by saying, yo, you know, like there's a way to handle something like that maturely. And I just think that, you know, I still want to see you standing up for me.
There you go.
But it's the way you do it. It's the way you handle it.
What do you think, Rashida? That's interesting, Nicole. Thank you.
The first thing I would look at is, what color is the other person?
White.
Okay, so the cops are coming, and I'm just gonna be okay if you sit back and not say anything. As a black man.
And that's all part of like the maturity, like assessing the situation, you know, figuring out like, what do I need to do to respond?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Wow, I like that. I like that response. I like both responses, but I mean, that's where, you know, she's taken an interest in for his well-being.
Right.
You know, really, I like that. Yeah, and both responses were great. The maturity aspect of it, I like, and then the safety and concern, the selfless concern for him, I like.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, you would think that on average, the average man might be thinking, if I don't respond in that moment, I was thinking, if I don't respond to this, I ain't gonna look right in front of her. So I was ready for, at that moment, whatever that was going to bring. Plus, it was that male thing where it's like, you just start snapping on me. I don't know you. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Plus, Nicole had a good point too. Like, there's a difference between then and now. Like in our, you know, earlier days, we had maybe more of a hot head and really didn't have as much to take into consideration, whether it be family or just the maturity thing. You know, so it's,
The difference for me now is, back then I didn't carry a knife. Now I do, so he would have been bleeding. No.
Why you carrying a knife?
I caught that. I just didn't. I'm
kidding. Like, nobody wanted to even react. All y'all were just like,
nah.
I think we were all like, okay.
Yeah.
No one wanted that smoke. Okay, I get it. All right. So we're gonna end for the evening on that note. But anyway, any last things any of you guys would like to add in before we end for the night? We really needed more time to really talk about Black horror, because there's more movies and there's more things, and we need our videos to play properly. But
that documentary is really interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary. It really, really is. Even if you're not necessarily a horror fan, it connects very well to the Black plight, you know? So anyway, any last things that you all would like to say before we go?
Ladies first, always.
Let's go to Rashida first.
Just thank you for having me. I had a good time. That's all.
Thank you, Rashida. Be more in the house.
Where?
Be more.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm in Montgomery County, Maryland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're not too far from each other.
Neighbor.
See?
Yes. Well, I, had a great time talking about and learned some things about Black horror films. So this has been great. Shout out to Play, Answer John's DM. I'd love to get my birthday shout out.
Yeah.
I think you about to make Brian McKnight start to feel away.
Oh, he's been felt away.
Yeah, I
Brian
think,
McKnight
yeah.
will do 2. Idris Elba 2.
Oh boy.
Who else?
We
Mars
should make a list.
Chestnut.
Okay, so wait, hold on.
There's a list.
Idris,
Just a
Morris.
list.
Who else?
Idris Elba, Mars Chestnut, Denzel, of course. I mean, he's at the top of everybody's list. Definitely play.
Mm-hmm.
There's what's his name? Oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Yeah,
She don't even know names no more. Listen, you named 4. That's okay. I mean, that's plenty. I'm not even going to ask for Vic's list because
right,
we get his list randomly through different episodes. Let me tell you,
Right.
now, Moni Love, it's Moni Love, it's Moni Love, and then there's Pam Grier.
Right.
Okay.
And he wears his feelings on his sleeve, like this.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Long sleeves at that too. He can roll them up when he need to and get you up. Oh. Anyway,
I think if he were light skinned, he'd be blushing right now.
Oh,
he would be.
Cole is just putting me through the. Oh man.
It feels. Yeah, he would be blushing. He's hiding his face a little bit right now. It's all good. It's all good. He understands. Once you mention Moni, he gets a little like a little schoolgirl or a little schoolboy. Let me say that. Yeah. Anyway. All right, so we're going to end for the night. Please make sure to check out my brother Vic Virtuous.
Mm-hmm.
That is, he's right down there. This dude right down there with the hat on. He has his own. Yeah, there you go, Nicole. Yeah. You get mixed up, right? Because the direction is different. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So this brother Vic Virtuous has his podcast that you can find on
Spotify. Mm-hmm.
But you can also find more of his content, music videos, his wife's content, and much more through his page at Vic Virtuous. The podcast is.
Thank you.
What'd you say? Oh,
no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And of course, and your wife now has a new podcast coming soon as well.
Launching, yes, on the 21st. Right.
Big up. That's awesome. So
thank you. Salute.
More things.
Hey, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. I just wanted to thank our guest again, Rashida, for coming through tonight. It was a pleasure. And I wish we had more time.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely love to hear more from you. You sound like you had some very interesting points.
Yes.
And like from the gate, very transparent. When I asked you how you were, you said, 50-50. I like that. I love honesty and I love transparency. So big ups to you. And I hope you come back on and join us again for another episode.
Thank you.
Word.
Definitely.
Word. Yeah. So that's it. Love, peace, and hair grease,
And Nicole, thank you for putting me on the spot. I appreciate that. And I was blushing too. Thank you.
Victor Blush. It's all good, brother. It's all good. So we're gonna end for the night. Love, peace, and hair grease. If your hair is shortened, the TCB will make it happy. How we do. Peace. Let's go.
I need you to act out that commercial.
The TCB.
I know, right?
Oh, I will. I can definitely. We will make a TCB commercial. Why not? Let's bring it back. What did TCB even stand for? Did we know? Oh, take care of business. So my hair grease was take care of business. Well, I guess it was taking care of them naps back there. So it was taking care of business. Okay. We're still on the air. Oh.
Hey, love you too. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate
you. Peace out, y'all. Peace out. Peace. If your hair is short and nappy, TCB will make it. I'm by myself now. Oh.